As far back as 8 and 9 years old, I've always struggled with my weight. Even into high school, I probably was weighing 260, 265 pounds, but I played football and I wrestled and I lifted a lot of weights, and I was bench pressing over 400 pounds, and I lived a very high input, high output kind of lifestyle. So that really kind of kept my weight in check somewhat, and I wasn't really worried about it at that time in my life. But then I graduated high school, and my high input, high output life kind of turned into a high input, no output kind of life. And man, that's really when my weight started to creep up on me. Through the years, I lost weight a bunch of different times, 35, 40, 50 pounds, pretty big numbers. I would diet. And unfortunately, diets in their nature are temporary. And just like diets in their nature are temporary, so are its results. When you stop dieting, you gain the weight back. And generally, when you gain the weight back, it brings friends with it. You lose 40 pounds and you stop dieting, and then you gain 50, 60 pounds back. You lose 50 pounds and you stop dieting, and then you gain 75 pounds back. And that happened for me time and time again. By the time I was 25, I was married and I had 2 small children, and I weighed 400 pounds. I had a 60-inch waist. I was wearing 6X t-shirts, man. I was huge. I was literally a prisoner in my own body and of my own lifestyle habits that I had developed over the years. I couldn't play with my kids the way I wanted to. I couldn't roll around with them in the floor at all, because I was big. I'd roll over them. I just couldn't. I was terrified even to go get my children from daycare, because when you're that big, you go into a room, kids are cruel. Kids are very blunt and honest with their thoughts, and I would go in and there's surely a kid there that pointed out, "Oh, look at that guy, he is so fat, whoa," and it embarrassed me, and it embarrassed all the other parents that were in the room, and it was a terrible experience. And I couldn't be the husband for my wife that I needed to be just because of my size. And even in the small things of life, things like choosing the kind of clothes that you want to wear, those options weren't available to me. It's not like I got to go into a store and browse the latest fashions and pick something out that I really like. You pick what fit. When you're that big, what fits. It's kind of like, hey man, 60-inch waist, cool. You want to wear these ugly pants or those ugly pants? I'm like, I guess I'll wear those ugly pants. And that's how it was. It was invading every aspect of my life and putting me in a corner. And I needed some serious help because I couldn't do it on my own. Well, in 2005, my family and myself were blessed with me having the opportunity to have what's called a gastric bypass surgery. And it's a weight loss surgery, and it is a permanent kind of weight loss surgery. There's nothing they can come back and reverse. What's done is done. And it's not a magic surgery. It's not like you had the surgery and then you just sit back and the weight falls off. It is something that you have to work very, very hard at. It is a tool that is used to help you learn a new way to live. And it was one of the toughest things that I have ever done in my entire life. Well, over the next year and a half, with the help of that surgery and a lot of hard work, I lost a little over 200 pounds. I was literally half the man that I used to be. And in this case, that was a good thing. And generally with these surgeries, you bottom way out with your weight loss, and then you come up a little bit and you settle into your new weight. And that is exactly what happened with me. I was given a new lease on life. A whole new world of opportunities was opened up to me. From the small things like being able to make fashion and stylistic type choices in my life to the actual important things in life, like being able to be the kind of father that I needed to be for my children, like being able to be the kind of husband that I needed to be for my wife, and being able to pursue the opportunities that God laid before me to accomplish that I couldn't do before on my own because I was literally standing in my own way. And that's what this surgery did for me. It enabled me to break through the patterns that I repeated over and over and over in my life. I was no longer focused on my past and how I lived, but I was focused on my future and how I was living right now. And that is exactly what we talked about at Gateway last week. Paul said to forget what lies in the past and to strain forward to what lies ahead. That is how we have been designed by God, to not dwell in the past, but to live for what is to come. When we take hold of God, we take hold of freedom. Freedom from what was and gives us hope for what will be. As Christ followers, that is how we should be thinking and living. And it's something that we can't do on our own. It's something that we need God Himself to accomplish. When you take hold of God and you put your trust in Him, your past will no longer consume you under its heavy weight. But God will use that past to propel you into an amazing future.